Hi, welcome back to our show. My name is Ricardo Jean Baptiste, and
And
this is
And I'm Corey Burns. Today we're coming to you to talk about mentor texts.
Woo!
And that's basically something that we use as English teachers to try and represent, have students replicate or take inspiration from a certain sort of technique in literature. So for example, one of my points in my mentor text is I'm going to be talking about sensory imagery. I'm also going to be talking about irony and symbolism.
Yes. So for my mentor text today, I will be using the book The Color Purple, and The Color Purple is an epistolary writing style book. It is a fiction. I think The Color Purple is a great text that you can use if you are teaching your high school students how to write narrative writings and a memoir, and you seem to be having a difficult time trying to get the students to really use your voice in their writing. You can use this text to help students brainstorm what is it that they're going to write. Because they are going to be writing letters to maybe the author, they will be writing letters to themselves, maybe to a friend, maybe to their teacher. And in doing that, students will be able to really build an audience. So when they write, they have a sense of audience, who are they writing to, and they're able to organize their writing with a clear purpose, and it also improves communication. So you can take some excerpt from this book and show it to students, read it with them, and have them, you can do one yourself, and then you can also have them emulate that style of writing. I'll say there are the ones where Sally is writing to God, sometimes have a lot of poor grammar and writing structure. So I'll use Nettie's letters to Sally to really show the students what that style of writing looks like instead of using Nettie's, because it contains a lot of vernacular English and poor writing style. So unless you know how to spin that and use that to your advantage and to your class, I will focus more so on trying to use excerpt from Nettie's point of view. Do you have any questions about this? How would you use this in your class?
So what is the situation where you would want to use Sally's writing?
What?
Like maybe if you're trying to teach like informal writing,
Yeah,
then they could learn that.
I think so. Yeah, so it's not too everything is not too structured where the students still cannot use their voice. So I think using Sally's writing in that informal style will be helpful. Maybe like in groups.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So how does the tone, not like the exact syntax of Sally's writing, how does that differ from Nettie's writing to her? Like, does it come off with a certain mood or an emotion?
I'll say that Sally's writing contains more emotion than Nettie's writing, because her letters are writing to God at the beginning of the book. So she's writing a lot of letters to God, and basically she is talking about what's happening in her day-to-day life. And Nettie's writing, I don't see that much emotion from her, and I don't know. Sally uses her writing like a diary almost.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, that's how the tone differs.
All right. So the mentor text that I want to bring into the spotlight is called The Girl Who Loved the Sky. It's a poem written by Anita Andreze, I believe is how one pronounces her name. And the writing techniques that it uses is going to be sensory imagery, irony, and then a little tiny bit of symbolism that I want to focus on with the jacaranda tree. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the sensory imagery. Now, this poem does a really interesting job of blending the senses and sort of using almost kind of cognitive dissonance about how senses are felt. So one of the interesting things that it does is it uses, for example, taste or smell words to describe how something would feel. For example, Oh, by the way, this poem is all about a girl who meets someone in her second grade class who is blind. And then she learns all these things about life from the blind girl. One of the lines is, she thought the sky tasted like cold metal when it rained. And bringing up that sort of thing with, it tastes like cold metal when it rains. How do you taste the sky? That sort of thing. It's usually something that we see, but because this person can't see, she's kind of taking what she can get and tasting the sky. How far does it go? Aside from that, it also just brings in lots of senses, like sensory details that do fit in the proper sense categories. For example, the papery petals, the crumbly eraser dust, and then it mentions the weight of feeling the butter that you churn whenever you shake up a jar of milk real good. So it also mentions the smell and taste of things like glue, and then it mentions the sweetness of the butter. And even if these are normal things that you can smell or taste, like the sweet butter, it brings a lot of awareness to the idea. So then the ironic parts, like tasting the sky, for example, stick out a little bit more and you kind of notice them. The irony that I want to mention is at the end of the poem, in the beginning of the final stanza, it says that the blind girl says she was born blind as an act of nature. And the narrator compares this to birds born without wings and trees born without roots. But it's implied by the poem that because she's blind, she knows how to do all of these things, like recognize sorts of things about life. And it's sort of pointing out that irony isn't a very bad thing to have. Mm-hmm. And if we look at the symbolism in the jacaranda tree that's brought up once or twice in the poem, one of the things that it means in some cultures is fortune. So it brings into question, is the blind girl possibly lucky for having been born blind without eyes? Because she can pick up things about the world like this, and she does have the ability to appreciate details. Overall, I think this poem does a really good job of having students learn how to bring sensory details even to question, even if they're not at all cognitively dissonant. Mentioning things that you can feel or smell or taste over and over again, it brings to life this experience for the reader. And when the author introduces a ironic statement, that's something that tends to stick in the reader's mind a little bit more easily. Also, the symbolism of the tree, that's always my favorite place to look in writing, is plants, especially trees or fruits. I think that those are like really rich sources of symbolism. And yeah, that's why I really like this poem. I think it's a great mentor text to use in your classroom, probably for maybe a sophomore or junior level in high school. And I think it could be a great addition.
Yeah, our junior and sophomore teachers here have a lot of mentor texts to use for your students.
All right, do you have any questions about the poem?
I think it's a nice poem. I like the part about just imagining, what did you say about how the sky tastes like cold?
Yeah, the sky tastes like cold metal when it rains.
Have you ever tasted rainwater before?
Does it?
Have you ever? Yes.
I think
so that's what I was imagining. Like, oh, I think I've tasted
cold metal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. So I was just imagining that. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Nice. So I think we're gonna roll out for today. We got things to do and lessons to plan.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna wish you happy days.
Let us know how you use this mentor text, okay?
In the comment section below. I'm kind of worried about my teaching ability now. Because if we can't get through 5 minutes of this,
I am worried.
Not for both of us.
I am worried because I definitely have a difficult time explaining stuff. And we can even talk about this. How, if you're having a difficult time explaining it, this is a great thing to
We just got to switch to art at this point. It's our best art majoring.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Dr. Tanori. Here's my letter of resignation. Do we resign? Like, what do we do? What are we supposed to do? I'm sorry.
I can't speak intelligently for over 5 minutes.
Yeah. I'd be like, what? Yeah, it's just not gonna work.
Oh my god. No, I'm gonna do so bad on those observations where they come in and watch you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna totally freeze up.
I'm
in
more
front
of a
them.
hands-on person, like
Yeah.
small group teaching style. Like I can't stand in front of the class and like lecture for like more than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
After a while, I'm just like, okay, let me know if you need any help, and go around and just help
Yeah.
students. I can't.
I remember sometimes I was in school and I was just like, I don't remember what happened today.
Exactly.
Like, I don't remember learning.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes, after a while, the kids start looking at you like you're crazy, and although you may not try to let that affect you, you gotta really ask yourself, what am I
Yeah.
saying? Like, what am I saying? If I were in their chair right now, would I be listening to what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I have tons of
Oh my gosh, you can include some of these in there.
Include?
That conversation just now.
Maybe we can like put it at the end.
Yeah, like at the
Oh, we can
end,
have like a bloopers section.
exactly, like conversations that teachers ask themselves. Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
The real lives of student teachers.
Exactly, you know,
Uh,
like it doesn't have to be perfect.
yeah, actually, I do think like a 1 or 2 minute blooper section would be really funny.
Mm-hmm. It'll work. But you're doing a
And I mean, it's all on the same video.
It is.
It's not like I'm gonna lose any of it.
No.
Wait,
Yeah,
actually,
okay.
am I like, am I still in the?
Recording.
Okay. We're gonna have to cut this. No, like imagine if for some reason like the uncut version gets submitted.
I think she would enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the cutting is probably gonna make it awkward. Like, how was she just smiling 1 second ago and now she's like?
This is gonna be way shorter than whatever time it says it is.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe she'd be okay with grading a shorter video.
I don't think she minds. She said however long we want it to be.
Well, yeah, but also like, imagine being her and then you have to sit through 30 minutes of whatever this
Oh
is.
yeah, that's true.
And like
At the
everybody.
beginning, she's probably like, okay, this is fun, and then okay, this is getting no.
Yeah.
You did great.
I mean, I'm just chilling out now.
Yeah. So just imagine the birds without the wings. They're like fly. It's like, oops, never mind.
I don't know if you could tell this, but like right before we were recording, I was looking up whether penguins had wings. Because they're birds, right? But they don't
Yeah.
fly. So
I think they do.
so they swim with their wings.
Yeah, I think so. They like flap.
I thought it was more like at their sides.
Yeah, like they walk like this.
This is going in the water.
And then they go in the water. It's just like flat.
No, yeah, you know what I thought was cool? Like what the noises that seals make, where they're like. It's always like such a weird noise.
But I think sometimes I prefer middle school over high school.
Yeah.
Like, not behavior, but I think we can have more fun with the middle schoolers than we can with the high schoolers.
Yeah, also just because of the pressure put on high schoolers is like a ton.
Exactly.
With the SATs, and then they're always doing these like extracurriculars that they don't actually want to do,
Exactly.
but just so they think they can get into college. Oh,
It's like
my high
middle
school is like
school.
that.
They're like coming from elementary, and especially now with the COVID, they don't know how to act.
Yeah.
They don't know how to act. So,
Yeah, the poor baby.
like, finding like a
I'm
good
worried that
way.
we're gonna end up with like the COVID generation.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
I think we are. And I'm excited.
You want to do?
They're like way advanced. You know, there's like COVID babies can do this at this many months. And it's just like, oh, interesting. COVID, like there's like a thing that people like to record on TikTok. Like, this is my COVID baby, and this is like what is she
I
doing
had
at
no
like
idea
6
that was a
months?
thing.
Yeah, like, oh, she's saying dada, and she's only this many years old, like this many months, and then other people are like stitching that video and like, yeah, my baby was one doing COVID too, and this is what she's doing at this many months, and it's just like, oh, advanced babies, we love
So
to see it.
it's like a rat race.
Exactly.